so far. I think this is what, week 2 or the end of week 2, 2026. Hope you're all still crushing your goals, still getting after it. I know y'all made some New Year's resolutions, so y'all need to stick to them. I know they ain't always easy. They're going to be hard, but you can do it if you just keep grinding, be consistent. Consistency over perfection, especially when it comes to your fitness goals. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the podcast episode today. Today we are rocking a solo podcast. I know I don't, I've been very blessed last year with a lot of guests to come on the podcast. I don't have any guests lined up. I think I have one in February that's coming on. But other than that, I don't have any other guests lined up. So if you know anybody that may want to be on the podcast or anybody that you suggest, please let me know, and we can probably set something up. Or if you want to join the podcast and you got something to talk about, I'd love to have you on. But yeah, we're rocking a solo podcast today. I still like doing the solo ones because I feel like we can still give a lot of value in the solo podcast. And today's podcast topic is something that my pastor said a while back, and I wrote it down in my notes. I keep a little list of like podcast topic ideas. So anytime I hear something, I write it down like immediately because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good topic. I could do a podcast on that. And I don't remember the exact words that he said. I don't know if these words are exactly what he said, but it's the same idea. And so like most people will spend the majority of their lifetime trying to avoid discomfort. And I mean, that's for obvious reasons. We don't want to be uncomfortable. That's pretty much, just the human nature in us. We try to avoid discomfort as much as we can. But the problem with that is, what if that thing you're avoiding, or that discomfort you're avoiding, or that thing you're running from, what if that is where your breakthrough lives? Like what if that is where your breakthrough is? What if that's where you kind of overcome, that obstacle in that discomfort, in that fire? So that's going to introduce the quote: your breakthrough is found in the fire, not outside of it. So I'll say it again. Your breakthrough is found in the fire, not outside of it. So we're going to talk about today how this quote applies directly to fitness, yes, but it also applies to, your discipline. It applies to your life. It may apply to something in your job, in your career, in a relationship. It pretty much applies to everything. And so that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to talk about how it applies, how you can use it to your advantage. But first, we're going to talk about what is the fire. Like, what do I mean by the fire? What does that really mean? So the fire, it could be a lot of different things depending on your situation, your scenario. But the fire could be your discomfort. It could be your struggle. It could be, pressure that's on you. It could be resistance. It could be anxiety, depression, anything like that. Like that could be your fire. Just going through a hard time. Maybe you had a loss in your family or something. That could be like the fire, like the difficult times, that discomfort that we don't like, that we try to avoid, or just like the hardship of learning something new or going through something to achieve like a big goal. Like for me, like the fire would be like a prep that I'm doing, a prep for like a race or something like that. Like that would be kind of the fire. So for fitness, it's like the hard workouts that you don't feel like doing. The days you just want to sleep in, you don't want to get up and go to the gym. The diet phase, when your motivation is low and you're craving something sweet and you got to stick to your diet. Or that plateau, when you've been grinding hard for a while, seeing good results, and then boom, you plateaued, and you're not seeing any results. Progress just feels like it's impossible at that point. Or it could be the mental battle, the mental battle telling you to quit. Probably some of y'all are probably facing that mental battle right now, 2 weeks into your New Year's resolutions, because this is about the time where it's going to start getting tough. It was easy at first because you had that motivation going. New year, new me. It's easy to ride that high when motivation is going, when you got a little momentum going for you. That's easy. But now you may be fighting, the mental battle. It's kind of telling you to quit. Oh, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to achieve this goal? Do I really want to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym? Or do I really want to go, go work out after I put the kids down at night to go to sleep? Something like that. So most people are going to look for, shortcuts to get around the fire. Instead of going through it, they're trying to go around it or take a shortcut, to get through the fire. But as we all know, growth does not happen in comfort. Like, you're not really going to grow when you're comfortable. Growth is going to happen when you're under pressure or when you're uncomfortable. That's when the growth is going to happen. So why do people avoid the fire or the discomfort, or the hard things you have to do each and every day to achieve something? Why do people avoid this? And it's just human nature. We're conditioned to seek comfort and to seek convenience. I mean, everything nowadays is around convenience. Everything we do is to convenience us. Literally, like, think of everything we do. Fast food, convenience. Honestly, vehicles, like driving, that's a convenience. Vehicles are a great convenience. Like, it would suck if you had to walk everywhere. But yeah, everything we do. I mean, I'm trying to think. Grubhub, like, not Grubhub. That's one of them. But DoorDash, Uber Eats, convenience. You can order your groceries. Like, you don't even have to grocery shop anymore, because we look for convenience. And honestly, it's a great thing. Like, I'm not hating on convenience. I'm really not. I love convenience. It makes my life easier. It makes everybody's life easier. But that's what we seek. We seek kind of comfort and convenience in life. Which is okay. I mean, that's just kind of the human nature in us. I'm not saying these are bad things. We all do this, and that's okay. But it conditions us to kind of avoid, those things that we may need to be doing to get that breakthrough in the future. So something that's portrayed wrongly on, like, social media is social media makes success look easy, and it makes success look fast. Like, you can get results quick. Like, you always hear of get quick rich schemes. Like, they're not real. If it's a get rich quick scheme, it's more than likely a scam, or it's more than likely not real. So you have to be careful, what you're seeing on social media. And it really, you just can't compare yourself, because, like, everybody's body is different. Everybody has different schedules. Everybody has different goals. So try not to compare yourself. I know it's hard to do on social media, because we all do it. Like, we all see these people that are doing great, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad for these people. But sometimes everything's not portrayed correctly online. Yeah, they may look like they're living the best life ever, and they may be suffering at home. You never know. So just be careful with that. I love social media. I think social media is a great thing. I really do. It can be used for a lot of good, but it can not tell the whole story sometimes. It can not necessarily tell lies. I mean, people tell lies on there, but it may just be misleading, if you want to put it that way. So when we think of discomfort, we think, like, it almost feels like failure. Like, when you're feeling discomfort, it almost feels like failure. But instead, we got to kind of change the way we think about that. Instead of thinking of discomfort as failure, think of it as, like, feedback. Like, if you feel uncomfortable about something, maybe that's feedback that you need to learn from that and grow. If you avoid the fire, avoiding the fire is going to make you feel safe, which is why we do it. But the problem with that is it keeps you stuck. Like, if you avoid the fire, if you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, you're going to stay right where you are. You're not going to grow. You're going to stay stuck. Like, if you're trying to improve, or if you have a goal or something, you're more than likely not going to achieve that, because you're avoiding the steps you need to take to get there, the hard things. Nothing good really comes without something hard happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing good happens easily. Like, when good things happen, it happens because you did something hard most of the time. I mean, I'm sure there's a scenario out there where that's not the case, but normally people work their butts off for things to happen good to them. So, like, think of, like, successful business owners. Like, yeah, the good thing that happened to them is they made a lot of money, and they're rich now, but they worked their butts off to get there. You didn't see, the days they stayed up late, the years and years and years that they put in the work to the business to make it successful. All the different businesses that they created that failed, that finally led to one that worked. Like, those people didn't avoid the fire. They didn't want to feel safe or comfortable. They took the chance on themselves, and they grew from it. They didn't stay stuck. So that's what we want to avoid. So if you have no resistance, that's going to equal no like no adaptation. If you're not feeling any resistance, you're not going to adapt. So think of like, your body. Like when you're resistance training, weightlifting, how does your body adapt? It builds more muscle. It makes you stronger because that's how your body's adapting to it. So if there is no resistance, then there is no adaptation. And that's in fitness or in life. If that makes sense, if y'all get what I'm trying to say. So in fitness, like the way you build muscle is you throw resistance at it, resistance training, and your body say, whoa, what's this? What's all this coming at me? I'm going to build more muscle so that way I can counteract all this resistance. I can push back against it. So when it comes to fitness specifically, what that fire may look like is, that last hard set that you want to skip. Like when you're at the gym, your top set, heaviest set, or the most reps that you don't necessarily want to do because it's going to be tough. That may be the fire. That may be stopping you from achieving your bench press max. Or it's that run when your legs are heavy and your pace feels slow. Especially like running's tough, especially if you do it on a day that you do leg day or a day after or whatever. Saying no to junk food when cravings are loud. This one sucks for me because I love junk food. I'll be honest, I love sweet food, so it's hard to say no. Or training consistently even when progress stalls. Like when you hit that plateau we talked about earlier, you still got to train consistently, even though it's going to be tough to make yourself do it. So in these hard times, in this fire, this is where your muscle is going to be built. This is where mental toughness is going to strengthen. This is where your confidence is going to be earned. So anyone can train when it's easy. Like January 1st, it's easy because you're motivated and you're ready to go because you got these big goals. But few people stay around when times get hard. So your fitness goals right now, like week 2, are probably starting to get a little hard. And that's when a lot of people decide to quit. So you just got to stick through it. You got to stick through that fire. So your breakthrough don't happen after the struggle, if that makes sense. Like the breakthrough isn't waiting after the fire. Like there is no you don't achieve it after you go through the fire. You achieve it while you're in the fire, if that makes sense. So it's happening during, those reps that you're taking. You're building muscle during the reps, or it's happening during the miles that you're running when you're working on your fitness. Like you're achieving it then during the fire when it's hard, when it's tough, when you want to quit. That's when you're achieving, that breakthrough. So strength, think of like strength. If you're trying to get stronger in the gym, that's built when you're under the bar, while you're lifting the weights. It's not built after you rack it. It's built during the reps. If you're trying to build endurance, your endurance is built while you're running. It's not built when the run's over. Like when you're done running, that your endurance ain't built then. It's built while you're in the run, mid-run, while you're grinding it out through the hard time. So you don't exit the fire stronger. You become stronger while you're in the fire. Does that make sense? So while you're actually, going through the hard times, going through the struggle, or going through, your weightlifting, your exercises, whatever it is, like whatever your goal is, whatever that hard thing is to keep that's keeping you from your goal, that's the fire, and that's where you're gonna grow. That's where you're gonna have that breakthrough. That's where you're gonna improve. So how does this apply to your life? The same rules apply. It applies the same way as the gym. So think of like a hard conversation you gotta have. Think of career uncertainty. Like you may not know what's going to happen next with your career. Financial stress, personal setbacks. Avoiding these moments is going to delay your growth in whatever that field is. So what do you got to do? You want to face these problems head on. Face them head on. And when you do, it's going to help you build resilience. It's going to help you build, trust in yourself. It's going to help you build identity. So you got to become the kind of person who can handle these hard things. So the more we do hard things, the easier hard things get, if that makes sense. Like you get better, you improve. So like, for example, something I do for this is I get in an ice bath every day, a cold plunge. But guess what? When I first start doing them, they suck. But after I do them day in and day out, they get pretty easy. So I started back doing cold plunges on New Year's because I was like, I want to do cold plunge. So I'm gonna do a cold plunge every day for 30 days just to get myself back into it because I quit doing it for a while. So I've been doing it, and the first few days sucked. It really did. It was hard, and I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to. It took everything in me to get in that cold tub. But now I've done it a few days. It's not that bad. Like it's not bad to get in it. My body's used to it. I've gotten like mentally stronger, and my body's actually gotten more adapt to the cold. So it's not as cold to me anymore because I've been doing it every day. So I'm building up that mental resilience and the resilience to the cold in the cold water. So that's just a quick example. But think of another one like that you may have like in your relationship, you may have to have a hard conversation. Well, the first time you have that hard conversation, it's going to be hard. Like you're not going to like it. Your palms are going to get sweaty. You're going to get nervous. Like it's going to be hard. But if you start practicing these conversations, if you get uncomfortable and make yourself do it, then they become easier over time. Like it's not as hard once you do it all the time. You just get used to it. You get better at it. You improve at it. Same thing with anything. Like working out, same way. When you first start working out, you're probably going to suck at it. And it's not going to be very fun. It's not going to be very enjoyable. But as you keep going, you get better, you improve, then those hard things tend to get easier and easier and easier. So that's the goal. That's what we want to do. We want to be the person that can handle, hard things. And how do we get better at hard things? How do we handle hard things better? We do hard things more often, or we do them, regularly. We practice them. So another, like a good little tip you could do to help, kind of reframe that fire, reframe that struggle is instead of asking, how do I get out of this? Like, how do I get out of the fire? Instead ask, like, who do I become by staying in the fire? Like, who do I become? Like, what do I achieve by staying in the fire, going through it, working through it? Like, who do I become? And you can't think of fire as like the punishment. The fire, yeah, it may suck at times, but it's a good thing. It's the preparation. It's preparing you for what's to come, if that makes sense. Like it's setting you up. It's getting you ready. It's growing you, making you stronger, building you up in whatever that scenario is. It's not a punishment. And yeah, it may feel like a punishment because it's not always fun. It's going to be hard. You're not going to want to do it, things like that. But it's a preparation. It's not a punishment. You got to reframe that the way you look at it. Think of every challenge it's not a setback. It's not a failure. It's just shaping you into the new you, into like next level of you. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, like, and for your career, if every challenge, is setting you up to get that promotion, to get promoted and go up in your career. So pressure is going to reveal who you are. So what are you going to do when pressure arrives? What are you going to do when you're experiencing, pressure, when you're uncomfortable, when life gets hard, things like that? Who are you? What do? Do you back down? Do you quit? Do you give up? Or are you going to push through? You're going to fight through the fire. You're going to come out on the other side. You're going to keep going when it's hard. You're going to go to that workout on the days that you're really tired. Are you going to, show up at work when you have a presentation due? Are you going to be there for your spouse in your relationship when they need you the most? Like, are you going to show up in those hard times and perform, or are you just going to lay down and quit? What you going to do? It's up to you. The only person stopping you is you. Like, nobody else is stopping you from doing what you want to do, from achieving that goal. So you got to reframe the fire. Look at it as a good thing instead of a bad thing, because you're going to come out better on the other side if you stick through it and work your way through it. So some actionable takeaways for y'all is to identify one area that you've been avoiding because it's uncomfortable. Think about it right now. Like, think to yourself, what is something that is uncomfortable to you, or it's hard, or it puts pressure on you, or something that you try to avoid? For me, I'll tell you one thing. For me is I'm very much an introvert. Like I'm not very outgoing. So like I don't like talking to strangers. No, I'll take that back. It's not that I don't like talking to strangers. It's just that I'm very uncomfortable when it comes to talking to strangers because I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know somebody, it's hard to just strike up a conversation with somebody. Well, for some people. Like for me, it's hard. Some people, I know people that can talk to a brick wall and hold a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like they could talk to anybody. I'm not like that. Like things don't come to my head to say. I'm very introverted. So like it's uncomfortable to me to like talk to strangers. That's just an example. It could be anything for you. Like for you, it may be going to the gym. You may not like the gym. It may be uncomfortable, or you may not know what you're doing. So it makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's hard. So think about that one thing, whatever it is for you. It could be fitness, could be your relationship, could be career, whatever that thing is you're trying to achieve. It may be related to your New Year's resolution. You probably set a goal at New Year's to help with this thing. So I actually did that. I actually did this myself. So like a goal for me is just to be kind to at least one person a day. And what does be kind mean? Like anything. It could be, give them a compliment, especially like a stranger. Preferably being kind, I mean to like somebody I don't know, or to somebody that's like just an acquaintance, not necessarily like a friend. Like if it's a family member or a friend, yes, I'm going to be kind to them, but that's not my goal. My goal is to be kind to somebody that I don't really know or I don't know at all. They could be acquaintance or they could be a stranger, but be kind, like, give them a compliment, hold the door for them, help them do something if you can tell they're struggling or they need help with something. Like that was kind of my goal. And the goal of this is, the idea was to help me, be more not open, but like be not outgoing, but talk to other people more, like strangers, because it's uncomfortable to me to do that. So I'm going to make myself do it more so that I get better at it. So it's not as, nerve wracking. It's not as uncomfortable if you do it more often. Like if I do it every day, eventually it won't be a problem. It won't make me uncomfortable. So that's just something I'm working on. But what is that thing for you? And whatever that is, you should have it by now. Commit to leaning into that. Like this week, today, commit to leaning into it. Whatever it is, like you got to start working on it. Like just for this week, just do it this week. In your workouts, it could be, finishing a set. It could be showing up when the motivation is low, or when you're running, when you don't have much time, or if you're really tired, like show up anyways. If it's in life, it may be having that hard conversation. It may be taking that first hard step, or whatever it is. Maybe asking for a raise at work. You may be scared to ask for a raise or something. It may be that. I don't know. Whatever that thing is, lean into it and try to work on that one thing. Like even if it's going to make you uncomfortable, because if you do it, even if you fail at it, like failing, it's a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because you're learning from it. It's a learning experience. You don't technically fail until you give up. So if you don't give up, if you don't quit, then it's technically not a failure. It's just a learning experience, just a learning example for you. So take what you learned from that failure, improve upon it, and then do it again until you succeed. So that's where the growth is happening. You got to remind yourself, I'm getting better. Each time you go in there and fail, or each time you feel uncomfortable, or each time, it's getting hard and you want to quit and you push through, that's where growth is happening. So you got to remind yourself that. So yeah, to go ahead and close out the podcast today, remember, comfort is going to keep you average. You're going to stay average if you stay comfortable. Also, we don't want to avoid the fire. Avoiding the fire is going to keep you stuck where you're at. The fire will change you. You will come out different on the other side of the fire if you let it. Or you may not. You may come out the fire the exact same on the other side. I mean, on the same side you went in. But if you push through, it will change you. Your breakthrough is waiting. It's not waiting outside of the struggle. Your breakthrough is in the struggle. It's in the fire. So it's being built while you're putting the work in, rep by rep, step by step, day by day, meeting by meeting, conversation by conversation. That's when it's being built inside the fire. So my call to action to you today, share this episode with someone who's in the fire right now, somebody that's grinding it out. Share it with them so they can get this message as well. And then also, if you enjoyed the podcast, leave a review. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the podcast channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen at. Check us out. I really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the podcast in 2026. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Your breakthrough is found in the fire, is not found outside the fire. If nothing changes, nothing changes. All good things come from doing something hard, pretty much. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. Like, you're not just going to do easy things every day and get great results. Most time great results happen after you've grinded it out, like after you put in a lot of work, after you worked hard on something and you achieved it, you went through the fire. That's normally when good or great things happen. So remember that. Don't get down on yourself. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna get hard. Period. Point blank. Period. It don't matter what you're doing. It's gonna get hard. So you just gotta push through. Just trust in yourself and get it done, and you'll be happy. You'll be so glad that you did. Just like all the races that I do. Like during the prep, it gets hard, and I want to quit, and I don't want to do it. But once I finish the race, I cross that finish line, I come out stronger on the other side. It's so worth it. I learn so much about myself and life in general when I go through all these, challenges. When I go through the fire, I learn a lot, and then I improve when I come out on the other side of the finish line. So that's what it's all about. So I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast. Y'all be sure to keep working on your fitness goals. All 2026, we getting healthy, we getting better, we getting through the fire each and every week. So yeah, other than that, y'all tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, and y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.